In the headlines, protesters rally in Abuja, Lagos over soaring living costs as Nigeria marks 64 years of independence. Kano residents shun protests, continue daily businesses. Cholera outbreak in Benue claims 11 lives, 6 in critical condition. And on the foreign scene, anger in Nepal over delayed relief as flawed death toll reaches 225. Hello and welcome to News Updates on Trust Television. My name is Lilian Ogazi. And now to the news. President Bola Tinubu in a national broadcast on Tuesday declared that Nigeria must reform to secure progress and prosperity or risk collapse by continuing with the status quo. Reflecting on the country's precarious state due to past mistakes and missed opportunities, Tinubu urged Nigerians to prevent these errors from shaping the future. He highlighted that 16 months into his administration, vital reforms to the political economy and defense sectors were necessary to steer Nigeria from its critical juncture. The address was part of the president's message for Nigeria's 64th independence anniversary.
We celebrate the progress we have made as people in the last 64 years. We must also recognize some of our missed opportunities and mistakes of the past if we are to become one of the greatest nations on earth, as God has destined us to be. Our mistake must not be follow into the future. My administration took over leadership of our country 16 months ago at a critical juncture. The economy faced many headwinds and our physical security highly impaired. We found ourselves at a distant crossroad where we must choose between two paths: reform for progress and prosperity, or carry on the business as usual and collapse. We decided to reform our political economy and defense architecture.
In a build-up to this year's Independence Day celebration, supporters of the End Bad Governance demonstration had campaigned on social media for a grand protest on the 1st of October, demanding an end to bad governance in Nigeria. Trust TV Sergey Ibrahim, who went round the Abuja city center, reports an absence of anti-government protesters within the federal capital, despite initial momentum rally earlier in the day.
This was supposed to be the beginning of the End Bad Governance protest in Abuja, but the euphoria of activism was cut short after security operatives dispersed the demonstrators, which seemed to have been gaining momentum.
They have started shooting us tear gas. They are trying to disperse us. Don't move, comrades, don't move. Don't move, comrades, don't move.
At the city center, the presence of heavy security is visible, cutting off entry routes into the Three Arms Zone, where the Presidential Villa, National Assembly, Supreme Court, Federal Secretariat, among other federal government buildings is located. The presidency had announced that this year's celebration will be low-key, thus a closed-door ceremony held away from the Eagle Square, which was also cordoned off by security. As the search for the End Bad Governance demonstrators continued, we encountered some demonstrators led by the national president of the National Association of Nigerian Students.
We don't always believe that it is time for destruction. Complain and complain. No, let's encourage our leaders. Let's pray to God Almighty to guide them, to rule us with the fear of God. We don't believe in those who want that there should be destruction. We don't have such idea.
The FCT commandant of the NSCDC, Shola Odumosu, who was also on routine patrol around the city, called for concerted effort of all Nigerians to move the country forward.
it's just we noticed some pockets of individuals at the stadium at some point, but the way they went about it, they were still peaceful. But we were able to control them and monitor them properly until they were able to leave the stadium venue. So for now, on my own part, we have not made any arrests, but we're still monitoring. It is not through disruption of the country. It's not by shutting down the country. It is not by unleashing mayhem or attacking government facilities that will solve the problem.
The state of the economy, rising cost of living, transportation and many others occasioned by twin policies of fuel subsidy and exchange rate unification has been the reasons behind widespread criticism of the Tinubu-led administration, with many calling for a reversal of these policies to reduce economic pressures on citizens. Sagir Ibrahim, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Former African Action Congress presidential candidate Omoloye Sowore has called for the release of Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, and other detained protesters. Speaking at a protest in Ikeja, Lagos, Sowore criticized the Nigerian government for holding individuals on what he termed false charges, including treason. He argued that Kanu's imprisonment was politically motivated and underscored that every group has the right to decide whether to remain part of Nigeria. Sowore also condemned Nigeria's independence as a burden and called for a revolution to free the country from what he termed internal colonialism.
We are exercising once again our right to be independent from internal colonizers. Our own brothers and sisters who turned us into slaves here in this country, economic scavengers, people who jail us because we stand up for our rights. People who say they are practicing democracy but don't allow people to vote freely, credibly in any part of the country. People who still loot and destroy. They are the ones that we are up against, and this is going to be a continuation of what we started in 2019, which was called Revolution Now.
Now in Kano, where there is a presence of relatively peaceful atmosphere in the state on Tuesday as residents go about their normal activities and shun protest. There was a planned nationwide protest built to take place October 1st across the country. However, many of the residents are going about their normal businesses. Major roads are a bit quiet with no heavy traffic, while shops and other petty businesses are open. A quick check at the major markets like Kwari, Sabongari, Singer and Kurumi shows that majority of businesses are open with few closed. Governor Dakpo Abiodun of Ogun this Tuesday led other dignitaries at a low-profile 64th Independence Anniversary Parade held at the Arcade Ground in the state capital. Addressing residents and visitors at the event, the governor called for a renewed patriotism, prayers and a deep sense of responsibility as government at all levels finds solutions to the current socio-economic challenges in the country. While assuring Nigerians of a brighter future and economic recovery through critical reforms and initiatives, the governor, however, asked for more prayers and support for policies and programs aimed at economic recovery.
The primary responsibility of any government is to ensure the security, welfare and well-being of the citizens. We have to be aware of the current challenges and their impact on our people. Under the leadership of our esteemed President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR, the federal government has swiftly implemented bold and deliberate measures aimed at repositioning the economy and preventing us from bankruptcy.
The Labour Party presidential candidate in the 2023 polls, Peter Obi, has urged Nigerians to seek a true independent nation free from state capture and end the unprecedented hardship and suffering. Writing his Independent Day message on his X handle on Tuesday, the former governor of Anambra State said anniversary celebrations, whether of an individual or a country, provides opportunities to reflect on memories, celebrate accomplishments, look to the future, and offer gratitude. According to Obi, Independence Day is a day to appreciate God for lavishly endowing Nigeria with everything natural, human, and material to be a great nation. He called on leaders to focus on investing in education of Nigerians and ensure that the number of out-of-school children is reduced drastically. As Nigeria marks its 64th Independence Day this October 1st, residents of Gombe are divided over what they need to celebrate the day or not. Many Nigerians are of the opinion that with more than half of the citizens battling to feed on a daily basis, the country has nothing to celebrate, even on low-key, as a Representative. However, some argue that the day should be celebrated in the spirit of patriotism. From Gombe, Hassan Koli filed in this report.
Annually, a series of events lined up by the federal government as well as states always herald the nation's independence anniversary on October 1st. Due to the economic hardship this year, the streets of Gombe, where youths are often seen with branded t-shirts celebrating the day, are empty. According to some residents, most people are focused on getting what to eat, adding that the struggle to put food on the table has made many to forget the celebration, with many arguing that there is nothing to celebrate at all. As a citizen, I think we are not fully benefiting from the nation's independence from her colonial masters. As a matter of fact, Nigeria itself needs help to stabilize socially and economically. I don't think even the president himself will be able to convince us that there is real and impactful development, especially now that we are still struggling to feed ourselves. The promises made by our founding fathers since 1960 are yet to be fulfilled, and this is unfortunate, so I have nothing to celebrate. It is a day of mourning for many of us, as we are yet to feel the impact of the government. The government is always saying they are bringing development to the people, but as a citizen, I am yet to see the said development, so it is usually fictitious and in the realm of imagination. This administration's policies have brought us untold hardship following the removal of subsidies on the electricity and fuel. We want the government to know that we are not celebrating anything. Let the government reverse its harsh policies. For people like Muhammad Ibrahim, Nigerians have a lot to celebrate. He, however, urged top government officials and Nigerians in general to remain patriotic even in the face of daunting challenges.
Actually, we have to celebrate independence. Nigeria is 64 as independence. If you look at the development and the challenges so far as democracy is concerned, while we have to commend the government by making sure that sustainability of this government and providing all necessary things to make sure that Nigerians are going smoothly. If not because of the corruption that we have in this country, Nigeria is not the country that we are going to see it here now. So we are calling on the government and the Nigerians, particularly the youth, to make sure that they know what is going on in the government, and we are calling on the youth. Protest is not the solution for our country. We have to partner with the government. We have to be law-abiding to make sure that we support the policies of government to ensure the integrity and personality of Nigeria is restored.
despite approval of a low-key Independence Day celebration by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Many Nigerians are still criticizing the move, saying the government needs to focus on people-friendly policies that will ease the current hardship among its citizens. From Gombe, Hassan Koli reporting for Trust TV.
All right, now moving away from stories on Independence Day to other stories. Starting off with insecurity, troops of the 6th Brigade Nigerian Army Sector 3, Operation Wellstroke in Taraba State, have captured 8 suspected Boko Haram members and 2 female kidnappers informants. The troops, according to Assistant Director Army Public Relations Officer Captain Oni Olubodunde, acted on reliable intelligence reports which led to the arrest of the suspects. He said the 8 Boko Haram suspects were arrested on 29 September 2024 during a raid on the residence of one of the terrorist leader named Tukura Abdul Karim in Sukani ward of Ado Kola local government area of the state. Captain Oni further stated that the raid resulted in the arrest of Abdul Karim and 7 additional suspects who had traveled from various states to join the terror group in Sukani town. He revealed that investigation into the activities and motives of the suspects revealed that they were planning to establish a sleeper cell within Taraba State with the intention of launching improvised explosive device attacks on innocent individuals and critical facilities. An inspector attached to the Police Mobile Force 41 Division Damaturu in Yobe State has been arrested for allegedly stabbing a suspected drug dealer to death over 200 naira bribe. The incident happened at CMC area Zango Damaturu, capital of Yobe, where suspect Inspector Mohammed Bulama and deceased Abdul Malik Pompomari fought. Eyewitnesses said the unfortunate incident occurred on Sunday at 5 p.m. Confirming the incident, the Public Relations Officer of Yobe State Police Command, DSP Dangus Abdul Karim, said the State Commissioner of Police, CP Garba Ahmed, has ordered the immediate investigation into the homicide incident. Highlighting the unfortunate incident, the police PPRO said the duo were involved in a bitter argument over an unclear transaction at Zango area. He said the State Criminal Investigation Department, CID, has commenced investigation and the suspect is currently in custody pending internal disciplinary action and prosecution. Now moving on to health, a suspected cholera outbreak in the Akwabozu community of Agila district in Ado local government area of Benue State has resulted in 11 fatalities with 6 others in critical condition. The immediate past secretary of Ado Local Government Council, Perpetua Okafor, told newsmen in Makadi on Monday that the outbreak began 4 days ago and escalated quickly, with the death toll rising daily. She said efforts to hire private medical personnel to assist the affected individuals have been hampered by a lack of resources. In response to the outbreak, Benue State Commissioner for Health and Human Services, Yanma Oreshe, said health officials are actively assessing the situation. He noted that samples are being collected for testing to confirm whether the illness is indeed cholera. Now moving on, laborers at a building construction site in Jalingo, the Taraba State capital, say they are gradually becoming idle as a result of the drop in construction jobs in the state. The drop, according to the contractors, is due to the surge in the prices of building materials, as well as the cost of transportation, which has doubled due to the recent hike in the price of petrol. The report.
Checks around the city center reveal that most of the building construction sites have stopped, while markets dedicated to the sales of building materials are experiencing low patronage. Also, block industries, cement shops, and many other building material shops at the town are looking deserted as a result of low patronage.
Things has escalated so bad that even we as businessmen are finding it tough. For instance, I know as of last year, January, I can get a truck of cement that I'm selling to people at 3.8, 3.9. But this time around, you have a truck of cement that you buy at 7 point something.
Not only being
expensive, but the patronage too is very, very low. So compare with the previous years. Gaskia.
Before now, you sell a set at the rate of 25,000 naira, but now it goes for 55,000 naira, while some are sold at 80,000 naira. We are calling on the government to help us and stabilize the prices of things in the market. A job that once cost 500,000 naira to deliver now costs over 2 million naira. As things stand now, if you want to build a house and you know that your money is not enough, don't start. Instead, invest what you have and gather more. For laborers, the situation is getting out of hand as they were always engaged in one or two delivery or menial job at different sites, unlike now that they can hardly have 2 tons in a day. They added that affording the daily meals is now a challenge, let alone meeting other needs. I have been here since morning. I have not been engaged to do any work, and it's almost 1 o'clock. I have not even had breakfast up to now. Contractors are no longer coming because things have become too expensive.
If they can come to our aid to see that they should bring down or subsidize the price of things so that at least you see now people don't build because going to market to buy things now is very cost, and the problem there is not even the building. People are just looking for what to eat now.
A Jalingo-based contractor blamed multiple taxation on delivery trucks, transportation costs, as well as the surge in the price of building materials for the decline in building construction jobs in the states.
And the increment of the price, one of the major challenges is that after purchase the materials, one truck maybe from Lagos, you pay a transport, you brought it here. Before you sell the materials finish, before you go back to market, the price is more than even what you sell. So before you buy one truck, you have to go and look for a capital somewhere to complete.
They all urge the federal government to address the fuel crisis in the country, which has a multiplier effect on all other sectors.
And to business, the Nigerian stock market has defied the economic hardship in the country as investors on the NGX reaped over 1.15 trillion in the month of September 2024. Breakdown of trading for September 2024 ended on Monday showed that the market's capitalization, which represents the total value investment listed on the exchange, closed at 56.635 trillion naira, up from 55.477 trillion naira at the close of trading on August 24th. In the same vein, another stock market's major indicator, the NGX All Share Index ASI, rose by 2.05% in the month under review to close at 98,558.79 points from 96,579.54 points in the month of August 2024. The sectoral activities were also on the upbeat as the NGX Main Board Index grew by 0.9%. The year-to-date returns went up 31.8% as the total volume traded increased significantly by 134.1%. Away from Nigeria, survivors of the monsoon floods that ravaged Nepal at the weekend have criticized the government on Tuesday for inadequate relief efforts during the disaster that killed at least 225 people. Deadly floods and landslides are common across South Asia during the monsoon season from June to September, but experts say climate change is making them worse. Entire neighborhoods in the capital, Kathmandu, were inundated at the weekend, along with villages in remote pockets of Himalayan country that were still awaiting relief efforts. The floods disproportionately hit Kathmandu's poorest residents living in Hafsada's slums along the banks of Bagmati River and its tributaries which run through the city. And in sports, the World Soccer governing body has banned the president of Federation of Cameroon Football, Samuel Eto'o, for 6 months for unruly behavior. He was banned from attending any match of the Cameroon's men or women's team in all categories for 6 months. FIFA cited a violation of Articles 13 and 14 of the FIFA Disciplinary Code as the reason for his ban. This sanction sounds like the beginning of a triumph for Eto'o's detractors, who have continued to denounce the Douala natives' misconduct, including the manipulation of matches in the domestic championship, for which he was cleared by the Confederation of the African football. With that, we've come to the end of news updates here on Trust Television. Do well to follow us across all our social media platforms for more news programs and documentaries. Thanks for watching. My name is Lilian Ogazi. Bye for now.